Good morning, South Florida. Welcome to another edition of UM's Frost Jazz Hour, right here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the home of Serious Jazz. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chuck Bergeron. Thank you so much for joining the program this morning. A special welcome to our live studio audience. Thank you guys for coming this morning. We appreciate that very much. You know that each week at this time we bring you a wide variety of great talent from the Frost School of Music, wonderful student groups, incredible faculty, guest artists. Well, this morning is no exception. We have live in the studio one of the most highly respected jazz pianists in the world and the dean of the Frost School of Music, Mr. Shelly Berg. Shelly's going to be talking with us throughout the program about exciting upcoming events at the Frost School of Music, including Festival Miami, some things in his solo career. But let's get the program started with some wonderful performing. This is Wonder Why, the great Shelly Berg on the Frost Jazz Hour.
Thanks, everyone.
That's great. We're listening to the music of the great Shelly Berg here live on WDNA. Shelly, thank you for taking the time and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Chuck.
Great to see you. Great to hear you. I know these are some monumental times at the Frost School of Music and the University of Miami. We have our sixth president just taking office. Have you met President Frank?
Yes, I've met President Julio Frank. We had our first hour one-on-one meeting a couple weeks ago. He's a terrific guy. He's just brilliant, warm, thoughtful. I think that as the first native Spanish-speaking president the university's had, I think he can make a really big impact as we look at the future of our country and our relationship with Latin America.
That's very exciting. And I also heard that his wife is a piano player?
Yes, as well as somebody that's been involved in medicine and breast cancer research and a lot of stuff like that. And he told me that he's one of 7 siblings. Half of them are doctor scientists, and the other half are professional musicians.
Oh, perfect.
And his mother was a concert pianist, and his father was a doctor. So he says his 2 loves are music and medicine.
Oh, that's great. Great for him and great for us.
Exactly.
Okay, that's.
I hope you're listening, President Frank. Great for us.
We'll have to have him on the show sometime. At the Frost School, we use the term wearing many hats, because many of us do. I know of no one in existence who wears more hats than you. Incredible artist, dean of the school, incredible educator, and now you're about to wear a new hat as you launch your own radio show. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm no Chuck Bergeron.
Great.
I don't have that voice, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to have a show called Generation Next on Sirius Jazz satellite radio. So if you're out of range of WDNA, if you find yourself on a desert island somewhere where you can't get WDNA, because that's what I listen to. But otherwise, my first show is going to be the first Saturday of November. The idea being that over the last 35 years, I've met and taught so many young artists, as you have, that have gone out to great careers. And I want to do a show that highlights them, where I interview them, talk about their influences and their music and the peers that they respect. And I think it'll be a great chance to really get those careers in a spotlight that they're not often in.
Right, that's a great opportunity for our recent graduates. Well, we look forward to listening to that. I want to talk a little bit more about some upcoming things, Festival Miami and stuff, but everyone has come to hear you play, including myself, so if you don't mind taking the piano again, tell us what you're going to be playing next.
I don't mind at all. How about If You Never Come to Me by Antonio Carlos Jobim?
Oh, beautiful. Okay, wonderful.
We'll do that.
And we're listening to the music of Shelly Berg on the Frost Jazz Hour, and while he gets set up at the piano, I want to remind everyone that next week the WDNA Fall Fund Drive starts. But if you pledge early, you can enter to win one of 6 chances for a $50 iTunes gift card. So if you make your early bird contribution of any amount, you can enter and win. There is no pledge necessary to enter the drawing, but we are, of course, asking you to give something back for all of the great music you get out of WDNA, especially at the Frost Jazz Hour. So make your contribution now at WDNA.org. Now back to some more music with Shelly Berg on the Frost Jazz Hour. Wow, that was really nice. And of course, we're listening to Shelly Berg here on the Frost Jazz Hour. Thank you again for taking the time to come and be with us this morning.
It's fun to come and play and to see some friends. It's great.
There are going to be many opportunities for people to hear you live and in person. One of the great festivals in the world, in my opinion, the Festival Miami, will be kicking off very soon. We're going to have the wonderful Julia Berg come in and discuss all of the dates with us as we get closer to that. But there are at least 3 opportunities I know of for everyone to come and hear you performing with professionals and student groups on stage at Gusman Hall. I believe one of them is the Mills Brothers.
Yes. Some of you probably recall the Mills Brothers, all that tight harmony of the great songs from the American Songbook. The son of one of the original Mills Brothers is now the leader of the group, right. And from what I understand, it's going to be terrific. And so you and I are both going to play with the Mills Brothers.
Okay, great. I played that show once before. It was a lot of fun. Great music. So we'll look forward to that. And one of the great new voices on the scene is Cyril Aimé, who I met last January.
Cyril is fabulous. For those who haven't heard her, she's a French singer. The first time I heard her, she was a finalist in the Thelonious Monk competition. I was there in D.C., and she wowed everybody. She's traveled a lot with a duo with a guitarist because she's such a great musician that she doesn't need a whole band to really just be that impressive. So I think Cyril is one of the greatest singers on the scene today, and I would strongly urge the audience to go hear her. She's really exciting, beautiful person. It's going to be great.
Okay, so we'll look forward to the Mills Brothers, Cyril Aimé, and another incredible resource we have that I want to give some more attention to is our new faculty member, Jay Reese. I went to the ball game Saturday night. Go Canes, did a great job there. But in the middle of the rainstorm, he was out there with his band. They sounded great. They looked great. They were incredibly professional. And Jay, of course, is the leader of the Band of the Hour. But he's also a graduate of our program with a degree in jazz electric bass.
How about that?
And his fusion group is going to be playing as part of Festival Miami, so we might have Jay come in and do a little guest hosting, but we want to hear his group, and you're going to be sitting in with them.
Yeah, the group's called Sylvan Street. They've done 5 or 6 albums. If you like jazz fusion, it should be awesome, and I'm honored that Professor Reese has asked me to sit in. I think it's going to be great.
It'll be fun. And we'll be giving the dates of all of these performances out in the next few weeks. And, of course, the big closer of the festival, the wonderful Frida Payne. And you and I will be performing The Band of Gold and other hits with her. That's going to be great. And that'll close. I think that's the last concert of
That's the last night of the festival. Frida is, you know her for, that song, Now That You're Gone, All That's Left Is a Band of Gold, which is a big hit for her. But she's a wonderful jazz singer. And she's done a tribute to Ella record, and she has a new record coming out with some of the best arrangers. Bill Cunliffe and Tamir Hendelman have written a lot of charts for her. So you and I, both know her music and her singing, and that's going to be a wonderful show.
All right, so we'll be talking about these events throughout the next few weeks as part of Festival Miami. But right now, let's get back to some more playing, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
What's next?
Well, I thought about doing one from somebody who was one of our visiting guest artists recently, Kenny Barron.
Oh, yeah, all right.
This is a song of his that jazz musicians love to play because it puts you through a lot of different chord changes. So it's called, what is it called?
Voyage.
Voyage, thank you. It puts you through a voyage of chord changes, and I think it's called Voyage. Here we go.
Okay, and we're listening to the music of Shelly Berg and the music of Kenny Barron and other people here this morning, but great to have him on the show. And while he gets ready for his next performance, I want to remind everyone that the wonderful Friday night concert series continues with legendary jazz tenor player and jazz educator Gary Campbell, graduate of the University of Miami. Gary Campbell will be here live in the WDNA Gallery with a wonderful band that features graduates Derek Fairholm, Eric England on bass, and everybody's favorite drummer in town, Rodolfo Zuniga. A wonderful quartet will be here Friday, September the 18th in the WDNA Gallery. If you haven't been here to 2921 Coral Way, the Frost School of Music and the WDNA Gallery, in my opinion, this is where jazz lives in South Florida. So come be a part of our community, and that's on Friday, September the 18th. But right now, live in the studio at the Frost Jazz Hour, we have the great Shelly Berg and more music. And you're listening to the music of Shelly Berg live on the Frost Jazz Hour. We'll be back with Shelly and some more music and some talk about upcoming events after this station break. Please stay tuned. What, okay. You're good. Is that coming from outside? Is that the ice cream truck? And we're back on the Frost Jazz Hour this morning. Our guest live in the studio is Dean of the Frost School of Music, the great Shelly Berg. Shelly has been sharing his artistry with us live this morning. We're going to talk a little bit more about upcoming events and recordings, but let's get back to some more music. This is Shelly Berg on the Frost Jazz Hour. Wow, Shelley, that was beautiful. What was that song?
So that song is called "Why Did I Choose You?" And often when a Broadway musical doesn't make it, they'll say the music was great. This is one of those cases. The show opened, I think, December 10th, 1965, and it closed December 11th, 1965. I mean, it closed the next day. And the show was the Broadway musical of the story The Yearling, which was a big movie, right?
Right.
But as a musical, it didn't make it. But 2 songs made it out of that musical. I'm All Smiles, which Bill Evans used to love to play, and Why Did I Choose You? And it's a really great song because if you know the story of The Yearling, these people are going through really, really hard times. It's a terrible, tragic life they have. And at one point, the guy who's not making ends meet says to his wife, why did you choose me? Why did you set yourself up for this life? And so she says, why did I choose you? What could you offer me? And it's like a love to last my whole life through. And at the end, she says, and when I lost my heart so many years ago, I lost it lovingly and willingly to you. If I had to choose again, I would still choose you. Wasn't that great?
Yeah, beautiful. And a beautiful rendition you played for us. Thank you so much for that. And I think you've been doing some traveling as a performer over the summer. I think you just got back from the Vail Jazz Festival.
I did. I just spent Labor Day weekend in Vail. That's to make everybody who lives in South Florida a little jealous. Low temperatures were about 38 or 40, highs about 65. But a lot of great artists. Sean Jones, Joel Fromm, George Cables, John Clayton, Jeff Hamilton, Lewis Nash, Byron Stripling, just on and on. So a lot of great people to play with. I had a really fun time escaping the dean's office and being a jazz piano player for a few days.
And also in Bulgaria? What was that about?
Yes, I'm big in Bulgaria. I played the Bansko Jazz Festival with a Bulgarian bass player and drummer who were great. We really, it's fun because their influences are a little different and it makes the trio a little different. So had a good time. It was in a town square in the ski resort, about 20,000 people outside. Yeah. And my opening act was the Bulgarian Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Fly me to the moon. But he was great. He was great.
That's outstanding. And I know you're working on there's a new CD. It's going to be coming out very soon on Universal. It's an all Gershwin project.
Yes, this has been a life dream of mine. I went to London and recorded and performed with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And we did a recording in Air Studios in London. We did Rhapsody in Blue, but in all 3 of the piano cadenzas, it goes into jazz improvisation, even though it's the whole piece. I Got Rhythm Variations the same way, and I wrote some arrangements. And anyway, we don't know the title yet of the record. I'm thinking An American in London would be a cool title.
That's a great title.
Anyway, look for the record Look for whatever format it appears in before the end of the year.
Okay. And our friends at the Gold Coast Jazz Society, who sponsor a wonderful concert series every year, one of our favorite singers, Tierney Sutton, will be performing, and you and I will be playing with her on November the 11th.
Yes, every year we do with our trio, our Miami trio, a concert for the Gold Coast Jazz Society at the Broward Center. And they ask us to pick an artist we'd like to work with. And this year we get to do that concert with Tierney Sutton, who is a many-time Grammy nominee and one of the most beloved singers and musicians in jazz, and a dear friend of mine since her career started in the 80s, so right. That'll be fun. She
is great, a lot of fun to work with. So that's Tierney Sutton on November the 11th at the Broward Center. And as we were talking about before, so many places to hear Shelley live at Festival Miami. So go to the Festival Miami website and you can see all of the different dates and great concerts that you'll be in the audience for as well.
Absolutely. FestivalMiami.com, and whatever kind of music you like, there'll be several concerts at Festival Miami with that kind of music, including a lot of great jazz.
Right. That concert with black violin, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be very unique.
Yeah, they're the newest release on Universal Classics, and they are a classically trained string duo that infuse hip-hop and lots of other elements into their music, and it's very powerful. In fact, the title cut of their new album is called Stereotypes, because one of the members of the band is a 6'7" black man, and he says, people don't think I'm a violinist when they see me on the street. They make all kinds of other assumptions, and so their main song on this record is called Stereotypes.
Great. Well, we look forward to hearing Black Violin. We look forward to hearing you and all the other upcoming events at Festival Miami. But it's been a real treat for us to have you live on the show this morning playing and with our studio audience. Thank you guys again for coming. Makes a big difference. And fortunately, we've got time for a couple of more songs. You know, if you don't improvise too long, you can squeeze more songs in there. I'm just saying. So if you would honor us with a few more tunes, and we'll close out the show.
You know, I think I don't know what I'm going to play second. That'll be interesting. There'll be a nice lull of airtime on the radio. But first, I think I'll play something that doesn't have a lot of improvising. It's a Fats Waller thing called Handful of Keys, because we jazz pianists have to pay certain dues, and this is one of them.
Okay. All right. So while Shelly gets set up on the piano, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Our producer, Alberto de la Reguera, has put together an incredible lineup for the semester. So please check us out each week on the Frost Jazz Hour at 11 a.m. And Jazz, of course, is living here in South Florida at WDNA on Friday nights and Saturday nights. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out about our Jazz and Film series. This past Monday was Sonny Rollins' 85th birthday, still going strong. And there's a wonderful movie called Sonny Rollins' Saxophone Colossus that will be shown here in the WDNA Gallery on Thursday, September the 17th at 7 p.m. The great Gary Campbell here on Friday the 18th at 8:30 p.m. All kinds of things going on for Festival Miami and for our show each week at 11 a.m. So please tune in or drop by and see us at 2921 Coral Way. And now back to some more music with the great Shelly Berg on the Frost Jazz Hour. A medley of tunes from the great Shelly Berg. Some Clifford Brown in there somewhere. I just want to take a quick second and remind everyone that the WDNA Fall Fund Drive starts early next week. But when you pledge early, as in today or tomorrow, you enter to win one of 6 chances for a $50 iTunes gift card. So make your early bird contribution of any amount and enter to win. There's no pledge necessary to enter this drawing, but we're asking you to give something back for all of the great music you get out of WDNA, including this morning's performance by the great Shelly Berg. Make your contributions now, please, at WDNA.org. And after you make those contributions, go on to the Frost School of Music website. Check out festivalmiami.com. So many great, incredible performances that will include Shelly Berg and the Henry Mancini Institute and all of our great student groups throughout the entire month of October and into November.
It's been great being here with you, Chuck, and great being with the audience, and very grateful to WDNA for all the wonderful music we get.
We do appreciate what they do for us here, Howard and Maggie and our great producer Alberto de la Reguera and the whole staff here. Thank you for helping us to upgrade this, putting up with me as I kind of learned the ropes a little bit. And I look forward to getting some input from you as you start your next career as a radio show host on your Sirius show. So we look forward to hearing that. But, you know, I'm killing time. We do have 3 minutes left.
We have 3 minutes left.
How would you feel about a little 3-minute something?
Little 3-minute something? A 3-minute waltz?
All
Figure
right.
something out.
Okay. Squeeze one more out of him before he gets back to his real job. How about a hand one more time for the great Shelly Berg?